टी। सो कैसा लग रहा है घर में? अच्छा लग रहा है? चलो ठीक है, दोनों चैप्टर हो गए होंगे। आई फील दैट या स्टिल यू पीपल आर डूइंग। और कुछ लोग तो क्लास अटेंड नहीं करते हैं, जैसे रिहांशु हैं, ऋतिक है। कोई प्रॉब्लम है इन लोगों के साथ? 2-3 बच्चे और हैं तो बिल्कुल, मेरे में तो आते ही नहीं है। खैर कोई बात ही नहीं है, तो ये तो अलग चीज़ हो गई है। अच्छा, नाउ आई विल स्टार्ट अ न्यू चैप्टर, दैट इज़ चैप्टर 10, लाइट, रिफ्लेक्शन एंड रिफ्रैक्शन। आपको इसके बारे में पता ही है, लाइट के बारे में, है ना? थोड़ा बहुत मालूम है ना? Now I have given you a motivational quote. Challenges are what make life interesting. Overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. Now we'll switch over to the topic. And very first what I have given you a puzzle. पढ़ रहे हो ना आप यहाँ? What goes through water without getting wet? अब इसमें क्या चीज़ है, क्या ऐसी चीज़ है जो पानी में जाती है पर वो गीली नहीं होती? कैन यू गिव मी द आंसर फॉर दिस? हाँ बताइए, क्या आंसर आएगा? वेरी गुड, साउंड। वन इज सिंग साउंड, वेरी गुड। लाइट, वेरी गुड। और कुछ? चलो ओके। तो क्या चीज़ है जिससे वाटर में जाती है? वो साउंड और लाइट जाती है। वेरी गुड। चलो, नाउ दे आर सोर्सेज ऑफ लाइट. About this you have already studied in class 6, even in 7, 8 you have studied. There are two sources of light. One is luminous, another is non-luminous source. Non-luminous sources. Now out of this, luminous sources are those sources which emits its own light. Example is sun, firefly. These are the example. Then even candle, you can say it is a luminous object because it shows. And this but moon is non-luminous. So there are different sources. Even the sources they are artificially made and they are natural. These sources are also present. Now the term comes reflection. What is reflection? As you know that bouncing back of light after hitting a surface. ऐसे होता है ना कि कहीं गिरती है वापस आती है ना। आपकी शैडो कैसे बनती है? हाउ योर शैडो इज़ फॉर्म? बिकॉज द लाइट रिफ्लेक्ट्स बैक। आप क्या हो जाते हैं? आप स्क्रीन हो जाते हो, लाइट आपसे रिफ्लेक्ट होती है। अच्छा, अब इसमें से आउट ऑफ दीज सम फिगर्स आई हैव मेड दैट इंसर्ट इन दिस, अ बॉय, अ मिरर, अ पेपर एंड इट इज़ अ वाटर, सी इज़ देयर। आर दे रिफ्लेक्टर्स? क्या ये रिफ्लेक्टर हैं इनमें से सब या नहीं? All are reflectors. All reflects the light. But which is the best reflector? Out of this you can say that mirror is the best reflector. That too, the silver substance which is used in that is the best reflector. Which element is the best reflector? Silver is the best reflector. Okay? Now that we'll switch over to another slide. Is it clear about this reflection? Now that light, characteristics of light. Light travels in a straight line. ये आपको मालूम ही है कि लाइट ट्रेवल्स इन अ स्ट्रेट लाइन, सीधे चलती है। इसमें हम लोगों ने एक एक्सपेरिमेंट भी किया था कि वहाँ पे अगर आप एक सिलेंडर बना लीजिए कागज़ का, उसके थ्रू देखिए तो दिखाई देगा, बीच में प्रेस कर दीजिए तो यू आर नॉट एबल टू सी। या आप 2 सेम टाइप के गत्ते लगाइए, उनमें होल कर दीजिए और उसमें बीच में एक ऐसा गत्ता लगाइए जिसमें होल नहीं है, तो यू वोंट सी अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट। तो लाइट ट्रेवल्स इन अ स्ट्रेट लाइन। शेडो बनाता है। ड्वेल नेचर है लाइट का। लाइट हैज़ अ ड्वेल नेचर। व्हाट इज दैट? वेरी सॉरी। Light. It has dual nature. Dual nature means it is particle as well as wave nature. Wave nature means it moves like this in the form of wave. Particle means it is a form of energy. So that is the particle nature. It travels. Another thing I've told you that light is an electromagnetic wave. It means that it can travel in vacuum. Where it can move? It can move in vacuum. Or it can propagate in vacuum. Vacuum means empty space. Again, I have repeated this. It casts that. Sorry for that. The speed of light in vacuum is 3 into 10 raised to the power 8 meter per second. Means if it is traveling in the empty space, this is the speed of light. When it falls on the surface, किसी भी surface पे fall कर रही है, तो maybe reflection and refraction that takes place. What will take place? Refraction and reflection will take place. Now there is one concept I want to give you, that is regarding ray. What is ray? Ray is a hypothetical. It is a hypothetical phenomena which demonstrate the rectilinear propagation of light. There is a single line which is linear, which moves in a straight line, that is a rectilinear propagation. Means it is moving. We call that as a ray. Okay, that we call it as a ray. Now, what is beam? It is a collection of light rays. When many rays are going, okay, like this is one of the rays, these so many rays are passing. So what is this? This we call it as a beam of light, and they are in 3 ways. The beam of light occurs. One is parallel, means they are parallel to each other. Another is convergent. Another is divergent. Like if you are taking a concave mirror, what happens in that? The rays which are parallel to it, they all meet at one point, which is known as focus. This is focus. They all meet at one point. Okay. So that's why we call it as a convergent. In case of convex mirror is like this. So what happens whenever the rays they are falling on this, means they are coming over here. So what will happen? They will diverge. They will move apart like this. Okay. So this is known as diverging. So in case of convex, it is diverging. In case of concave, it is converging. And there are many rays which meet at one point. Then it's a collection of light rays is known as beam. Okay. Now there are 2 laws of reflection. अगर आप एक पेपर भी लो, तो जब लाइट उससे रिफ्लेक्ट हो रही है, तो वहाँ पे क्या होगा? लॉज ऑफ रिफ्लेक्शन होंगे. और लॉज ऑफ रिफ्लेक्शन से के लिए आपको एक चीज़ और आपको ध्यान में रखना है. एक रेगुलर होता है और एक डिफ्यूज होता है. तो रेगुलर तो क्या होता है, जैसे रेगुलर में क्या होता है, वो जैसे सीधा होता है. Regular means this is a regular surface. Okay. If it is like this, it is a irregular surface. Now in case of regular surface, what are the 3 things? What are these? There is one ray which is falling on this. This is known as incident ray. What is this? This is incident ray. It reflects back. When it reflects back, we call it as reflected ray. And there is one more line is there which is perpendicular to this. It is at 90 degree and it is denoted by dotted line. This is known as normal. And all these three lines, incident ray, reflected ray and normal, they all meet at one point of coincidence at the same plane. Means they all lie at one point. So this is one law. Second law is angle I. This is angle I. Means the angle formed between normal and the incident ray is angle I. The angle formed between normal and reflected ray is represented by R. So your second law is angle I is equal to angle R. So okay, so it occurs in case of if the surface is smooth. अगर surface smooth है तो क्या होगा, रेगुलर रिफ्लेक्शन होगा. अगर सरफेस रफ है तो क्या होगा, इट विल बी डिफ्यूज, स्कैटर्ड हो जाएगा. दैट द सन रेज विच फॉल्स. आपको ये मालूम होगा ना, सन रे जो आती है, सन रेज हम सारी यूटिलाइज तो नहीं कर पाते ये इतना, क्योंकि हमारी जो अर्थ है इट इज़ नॉट इन अ रेगुलर, दैट सरफेस इज़ नॉट रेगुलर, तो वो कैसी होती है, डिफ्यूज होती है. ओके, नाउ यू कैन वॉच दिस वीडियो.
The path of light when it strikes the mirror or wall in daily life? Does it move along straight line path or changes its direction? Definition: when light ray strikes the boundary of two media such as air and glass, a part of light is turned back into the same medium. This is called reflection of light. A highly polished surface such as a mirror reflects most of the light falling on it. Laws of reflection. 1. The angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. And 2. The incident ray normal to the mirror at the point of incidence and the reflected ray all lie in the same plane. These laws are applicable to all types of reflecting surfaces, including spherical surfaces. Types of reflection. The types of reflection are regular reflection and irregular or diffused reflection. Regular reflection. It occurs when a beam of light falls on a smooth and polished surface, such as a plane mirror. Irregular reflection. It occurs when a beam of light falls on a rough surface, such as wall of a room. Incident ray. Light ray striking a reflecting surface. Point of incidence. The point at which the incident ray strikes the reflecting surface. Reflected ray. The light ray obtained after reflection from the surface in the same medium in which the incident ray is traveling. Normal. The perpendicular drawn to the surface at the point of incidence. Angle of incidence. The angle which the incident ray makes with normal at the point of incidence. It is denoted by the letter I. Angle of reflection. The angle which the reflected ray makes with the normal at the point of incidence. It is denoted by the letter R. Plane of incidence. The plane containing the incident ray and the normal. Plane of reflection. The plane containing the reflected ray and the normal.
No, don't film me yet.
So this is regarding laws of reflection. This video you have seen. Now characteristics of plane mirror. Plane mirror, if you are going to look at a plane mirror, plane mirrors, whenever we are drawing mirrors, remember one thing, whenever we draw mirrors, actually we can't make them paint. पहले हम उसको क्या करते हैं, सिल्वर नाइट्रेट से पेंट कर देते, वो मतलब कोटिंग कर देते, फिर पेंट लगा देते हैं. अब मिरर हम बना तो सकते नहीं, या तो हम इसको लाइंस बना देंगे, या मिरर को हम ऐसे करके थोड़ा सा थिक बना देंगे ऐसे करके. तो लाइक दिस यू कैन मेक अ मिरर. ठीक है, दिस इज़ अ प्लेन मिरर. और प्लेन मिरर की कैरेक्टरिस्टिक आपको पता ही है कि मतलब अगर आप यहाँ खड़े हो तो यहाँ दिखाई दोगे. ठीक है, राइट हैंड उठाओगे तो लेफ़्ट दिखाई देगा, एक कदम चलोगे तो इधर भी एक कदम चलोगे, एक कदम पीछे आओगे तो इधर भी एक कदम पीछे आओगे. ठीक है, और इमेज कैसी होती है इसमें, वर्चुअल इमेज होती है. विच टाइप ऑफ इमेजेस फॉर्म, वर्चुअल इमेजेस फॉर्म. सो नाउ यू जस्ट वॉच दिस वीडियो.
Take a look at this animation. This is a simple experiment that you can perform at home. In this animation, a chessboard is being brought in front of a mirror, and a king piece is placed on the chessboard. Now you will notice that as the king piece is moved on the chessboard, the image of the king piece on the mirror moves accordingly. If the king piece is brought to the front of the mirror, the image also moves to the front, and if the king piece is taken at the back of the chessboard, the image of the king piece is also moving back to the chessboard. So what do you think is happening? The image of the king is moving accordingly with the king on the other side of the mirror. So let us find out what is happening with another experiment. Here in this animation, we find a boy is standing in front of the mirror. Now you will notice that when the boy is walking towards the mirror, the image of the boy in the mirror is also walking towards the mirror. If you observe closely, you will see that if the boy takes 2 steps towards the mirror, the image also takes 2 steps towards the mirror. And if the boy takes 2 steps away from the mirror, the image also does the same. You will also notice that the distance of the boy from the mirror remains the same as the distance of the image of the boy from the mirror. And you can also see that the boy is standing upright and his image on the mirror is also upright. So what can we say are the properties of the image that is being formed on the mirror? Let us find out. We learned that the image that is being formed is erect. As we saw in the case of the chessboard, the king piece was erect and the image of the king was also erect. Similarly, we saw it in the case of the boy. We saw the image is of the same size. The king that was placed on the chessboard had an image which was the same size as the king itself. Also, when the boy stood in front of the mirror, the image of the boy was the same size as that of the boy. And lastly, the distance of the object from the mirror is equal to the distance of the image from the mirror. Again, we saw this in both cases. In case of the king, as we were moving the king on the chessboard, the image of the king was moving accordingly. That is, if we move the king to the back of the chessboard, the image of the king also moved to the back of the chessboard. Even in the case of the boy, we found when the boy took 2 steps towards the mirror, the image of the boy also took 2 steps towards the mirror. Likewise, when the boy took 2 steps backward from the mirror, the image also took 2 steps backwards. Now notice this animation closely. Here you find that the boy is raising his right hand up. Now if you look at the image of the boy, you will notice that the image is raising up his left hand. So why do you think this is happening? That the boy is raising his right hand and the image is raising his left hand. Here you notice that there is an apparent left to right reversal. So what is this left right reversal called? This left right reversal is known as lateral inversion. What is lateral inversion? Here lateral means sideways and inversion means reversal. So the apparent left and right reversal of the image formed on the mirror when compared with the object is known as lateral inversion. In the case of the boy standing in front of the mirror, we saw that when the boy raised up his right hand, the image raised up its left hand. So there was a left and right reversal. This reversal is known as lateral inversion. Now, have you ever wondered if lateral inversion is employed or used anywhere? If you have ever noticed an ambulance, you will have seen that the letters on the ambulance are written in a reverse manner, somewhat like this. Do you know the reason why ambulance is written like this on the body of the ambulance? The reason is when the driver of a car sits in the car and sees from his rearview mirror, due to lateral inversion, he will be able to view this writing in a proper manner. Due to this, he will be able to understand that an ambulance is coming from behind and he will be able to make way for the ambulance. If the word ambulance was written originally like this, then after reflection, it would have appeared like this. And for the driver in the car, it would have been very difficult to make out what is written. So, by writing ambulance like this, lateral inversion is employed to make it easier for drivers in their cars to read the writing better. So, taking a quick recap, what did we learn? We learned that the image formed on a plane mirror by an object has certain properties. What are those properties? The image formed is erect and upright. The image formed is the same size as that of the object, and the distance of the object from the mirror is the same as the distance of the image from the mirror. We also learned that when an object is placed in front of a mirror, the reflection undergoes lateral inversion. What is lateral inversion? The apparent left-right reversal of the image is known as lateral inversion. In the case of the animation, we saw that when the boy was raising his right hand up, the image was raising up its left hand. We also saw how lateral inversion is used by humans in order to read ambulance in a better manner, to make it more convenient for the drivers driving their cars on the roads.
Now, this is the way the image is formed in a plane mirror. Now listen over here, look at this figure, ray diagram. This is the object, image of a boy is standing over here and you are observing. At what you will find that image is formed just over here. Over here the image is formed, okay, behind it, and the distance is equal. Over here, one thing more that happens, that whenever these rays are coming, they are not converging, they are diverging. Okay, they diverge, they don't converge in plane mirror. That's why the image formed over here is virtual, and virtual image is always erect. Remember this thing. Okay, next. Now I have given you some questions. Which is the best reflector of light? Actually, question should be which is the best reflector of light hona chahiye. Which is the best reflector of light? This is the question. Okay, you cut this question mark over here and like this. The second question is, if the angle of incidence is 0 degree, what will be its angle of reflection? What is the magnification of the image formed by the plane mirrors and why? Write the characteristics of plane mirror and define laws of reflection along with diagram. Whatever you have done, so those questions I have given you, okay, on that basis. Now real and virtual image. Ki how we say that it is a real image and how we can say that it is a virtual image. We always say that real image, in case of this real image means we see that real image can be taken on screen. We always say that can be taken on screen. Taken on screen. Over here, all the ray meet at one point. In case of virtual image, we say that cannot taken on screen. On screen. Second thing regarding virtual image is that the image is always erect. In case of real image, it is always inverted. Inverted means upside down. कैसी image होती है real में? Upside down होती है, inverted होती है. इसमें कैसी होती है? Erect होती है. ठीक है, ये true images होती हैं. Real image कैसी होती है? It is a true image. और virtual image कैसी होती है? It is a false image. क्यों होती है कि ट्रू इमेज में क्या होता है कि वेन एवर यू विल फाइंड दैट कि वहाँ पे हमेशा कन्वर्जेंट होगी, रेज बिकम कन्वर्जेंट. और वर्चुअल इमेज में दे डोंट बिकम कन्वर्जेंट. वहाँ पे वो कन्वर्जेंट नहीं होती, वहाँ पे वो डाइवर्जेंट होती हैं. दैट्स वाई दैट इज़ नोन एज द वर्चुअल इमेज एंड रियल इमेज आर द कन्वर्जेंट इमेज. ठीक है, तो दिस इज़ रिगार्डिंग दिस. नाउ यू लुक एट दिस वीडियो about this.
My aim is to give you the basic understanding of the terms virtual and real images. It's a slightly long video, but it'll be one of the most interesting ones too. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. What you see on your screen is a mirror. It has this plane and smooth reflecting surface on one side. It's called a plane mirror because its reflecting surface is flat. What other types of mirrors have you seen? Have you seen this type of mirror? Well, you must have seen it on the stand of your bathroom or maybe hung up there on a wall. This is not a plane mirror. Try to move your hands over the surface and you will notice it. This is called spherical mirror, or more precisely, spherical concave mirror. It is curved inwards. It is kept there as we use it mostly when we are shaving. Now the obvious question that must be coming to your mind is, why do we use concave mirror for shaving instead of a plane mirror? For the answer to this question, you have to wait for our future videos. For now, we will be concentrating on the plane mirror only. So let's consider this plane mirror again. When we stand in front of a mirror, we see an image of ourselves in the mirror. Nothing surprising there. Why are we able to see our image? Yes, it's due to the reflection of light. In fact, it's due to multiple reflections of light rays. How? The light rays from the source are first incident on our body. They bounce off from our body and fall on the surface of the mirror and again gets reflected from there. This reflected light then reaches our eyes and we see our image. So what does this tell us? Yes, this tells us that a light ray can get reflected multiple times. The same thing happens for every other non-luminous object as well. If you remember, my initial goal was to explain what virtual and real images are. Let me ask you a question. This image that you see here, is it a real image or a virtual one? This image is a virtual image. In order to explain what a virtual image is, let's first simplify this image. Let's represent this boy with an arrow pointing up. And here is our plane mirror. You can assume the top of the arrow to be the top of the head of a boy. Now, where is the image of the boy formed? When we see the image in the mirror, it seems to us that the image is formed somewhere behind the mirror. But there is nothing behind the mirror, right? For us, the light rays seem to come from the location present behind the mirror. For instance, consider a few light rays emerging from top of the arrow. All these rays are incident on the mirror and get reflected back. Yes, all the reflected rays will follow the laws of reflection. You see that all the reflected rays are moving away from each other, that is, they are diverging. But we know that the image is formed somewhere behind the mirror. So let me extend these reflected rays backwards and see what happens. We see that they meet at this point behind the mirror. And to us, this is where the top of the image appears to be. When we look at this point, it appears to us that all the light rays are diverging from this point. But in reality, there are no light rays behind the mirror. This being a smooth and shiny surface reflects most of the light back and almost no light reaches behind. But yet, we have the perception that the light rays are coming from the point behind. So we just consider the top of the arrow here. We can do something similar for the remaining points on the object to get the complete image. So we say that the image formed here is virtual, or in other words, not real. You can think of a virtual image as an image which appears to be formed in a position somewhere behind the mirror. But in reality, it isn't there. A virtual image is formed when the light rays diverge after reflection from the mirror. Every plane mirror forms a virtual image. This is the first characteristic of the images formed by plane mirrors. Images formed by plane mirrors are virtual and not real. So what is the real image then, and how are they formed? Let's replace this plane mirror with a spherical concave mirror. Why? It's because real images can be formed by concave mirrors. Let's consider the light rays from the same point of the object incident on the mirror. We see that after reflection, each ray is traveling in a certain direction. Note that here as well, each ray obeys the law of reflection. What difference did you notice here compared to the plane mirror reflection? In the previous case, all the reflected rays were diverging. Yes, here all the reflected rays after reflection are intersecting each other at this point, or we can say that they are converging at this point. And the image of the top of the arrow is formed at this point. And we can do something similar for the remaining points of the object too. We get this image. This is called a real image. It is the image formed when light rays converge after reflection from the surface. One important thing we need to know is that real images formed by concave mirrors are always inverted. We will learn more about this in the future videos. You see that in this case, the image is formed on the same side of the mirror as the object is. Real images are always formed on the same side as that of the object, and light rays do reach this position. When we look at the real image formed by a concave mirror, it also seems to us that the light rays are diverging. But here the rays actually are diverging from a point in front of a mirror. Whereas in the case of a plane mirror, it appears to us that the rays were diverging from the point behind the mirror. So did you understand the difference between a virtual image and a real image? When we look at a virtual image, it appears to us that the light rays are diverging from a point somewhere behind the mirror, but in reality they aren't, as no light reaches behind the mirror. It's only our perception. And in the case of a real image, the light rays are actually diverging from the point present on the same side of the mirror. In reality, light rays indeed reach this point. Hence, we call it a real image. I mentioned earlier that concave mirrors form real images. In fact, they form both real and virtual images. And what does it depend on? It depends on the distance of the object from the mirror. We will learn more about the real images formed by concave mirrors in our future videos. First, let's go back to our plane mirrors. This is only one of the characteristics of an image formed by a...
तो दिस इज रिगार्डिंग रियल एंड वर्चुअल इमेज. इसको एक दो बार देखोगे तो समझ में आएगा. ठीक है. Now next is spherical mirrors that I have to teach you. That is spherical mirrors.
My aim is to give you the basic understanding.
Now the lastly, it is a spherical mirror. Now what are spherical mirrors? Spherical mirrors, if you are going to see, they are of two types. If this is a sphere, you can see this. This is a sphere.
Have been looking at the properties of images formed by plane mirrors. A plane mirror is a mirror whose reflecting surface is flat. What about this mirror? Is this also a plane mirror? This is a mirror as it has the smooth reflecting surface. But this is not a plane mirror as this reflecting surface is not flat. The reflecting surface is curved and hence this mirror is called a curved mirror. What about this one? This is also a curved mirror. The difference between the two is that the reflecting surface of this mirror is curved inwards, whereas the reflecting surface of this mirror is curved outwards. Can you think of examples where you have seen curved mirrors? A shiny surface of a spoon is a good approximation of curved mirror. Spoon has two reflecting surfaces, one curved inside and the other curved outside. Now the specific types of curved mirrors that we are interested in are called spherical mirrors. In fact, these two mirrors are spherical. Well, they look nothing like a sphere, but then why are they called so? They are called spherical mirrors because their reflecting surface is a part of a sphere. You can clearly see that the reflecting surfaces of both the mirrors form the part of the sphere. Now both these are given special names. The mirror that has its reflecting surface curved inwards is called a concave mirror, and the mirror that has its reflecting surface curved outwards is called convex mirror. Yes, inwards concave and outwards convex. Now we want to study the properties of images formed by spherical mirrors. But before that, we need to define certain terms related to spherical mirrors. So let's do that. Both the mirrors are placed like this. Concave mirror on your left and convex mirror on your right. I'm going to define the terms for both these mirrors. Concave inwards and convex outwards. The center of the reflecting surface of the mirror is called the pole. We represent it with a point P. In the front view of both the mirrors, you can see that the pole is present right at the center. Now, as I told you, the reflecting surface forms a section of the sphere. This sphere must have a center. This center of the sphere is called the center of curvature, denoted by C. And what will the radius be called? Yes, it's called the radius of curvature. Join the pole and the center of curvature with a line. This line is called the principal axis. The midpoint of the line segment joining the pole P and the center of curvature C is called the focal point. It's denoted by the letter F. We will talk about one last thing in this video, and that is an assumption that we are making all along. We are assuming the radius of the curvature of a mirror to be much greater than the aperture of the mirror. Aperture, in simple terms, is that part of the mirror which is exposed to light. In our mirror, this is its aperture, since the light can be incident anywhere in this region. If we hide some part of the mirror with an opaque substance, then its aperture is reduced. Mathematically, it is this length. So the mirror that we are considering is the one in which the aperture is much smaller than the radius of the curvature. These were a few of the terms related to spherical mirrors, but there's a lot more we need to understand about them. See you in the next video.
Now there are questions, differentiate between this, and you have to define this. Now if these links are not clear, what you can do, that you can see the slides of that PPTs of on YouTube channel. You can say Manochaz Academy or Don't Memorize. Okay, you can watch that if it is not clear. Okay, the video is very short. I think that is very microscopic. So you can watch Manochaz Academy, or you can watch that also. Don't Memorize. They both are very good. Okay, thank you. It's all for today.